Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Susan. We just
You can't see me?
I can't see you yet, but I know I'm going to see you in a second. There we go. Fantastic.
Okay.
So welcome everyone. Hello, I'm Angela McCarthy, the CEO of the Earth Foundation, the organization behind the Earth Prize competition, a $200,000 annual global environmental sustainability competition for teenagers to come up with solutions to tackle environmental issues. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. This afternoon, we are going to be talking to teachers, incredible teachers at that, who were really key in guiding the students to become part of the top 10 finalists. They're going to share with you their tips and provide guidance for those teachers who haven't yet heard about the Earth Prize competition, and show you and guide you a little bit on what they did with their students, their schools, and their teams. So today I'm joined by Safa Obeid from Jordan, Chris Koch from Switzerland, Susan Nyoike from Kenya, and Pauline Herbommez from the United Kingdom. Welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to each one of you do a little introduction on yourselves. How about we start off with Safa?
Thank you, Angela, first of all, and thank you for the Earth Prize team for hosting us today. My name is Safa Obeid. I'm an English teacher at Sweileh Preparatory Coeducational School in Jordan, which is one of the United Nations Relief and Work Agency schools for Palestine refugees. I'm proudly the winner of the Earth Prize Educator of the Year 2022 on its first edition. I supervised 3 teams who worked on 3 different environmental problems and who are now spreading awareness on different environmental issues. I'm also a member of the Human Rights Committee in UNRWA. One of my major contributions to environmental education is creating the environment-based investment activities toolkit, which aims on integrating environment in education. The Earth Prize made a big difference in my professional career as a teacher. It made a big difference with my students. They are now more aware of the importance of saving environment. And I'm very excited to see and to participate in the next edition of the Earth Prize.
Thank you, Safa. Thank you so much. We're going to find out a little bit more in some of the questions that I'm going to ask you about what are the next steps for you. But Chris Koch from from Switzerland.
So yeah, hi everybody. My name is Christopher Koch. I'm a humanities teacher at the International School of Zug in Lucerne. We are sort of a medium-sized school, about 1,200 students in the center of Switzerland. And for us, the Earth Prize was a real opportunity to engage with some of the other programs we're beginning to develop at our school around this idea of sort of an ethical entrepreneur. So we're very excited to be syncing these things together.
Fantastic. Susan?
So hello, everyone. As you heard, my name is Susan Nyoike. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I teach at Raila Educational Center, which is in the middle of Kibera. I don't know if you've heard Kibera. It's one of the largest slums in Africa. So we work mainly with underprivileged children. And so this Earth Prize has been a real eye-opener to the students. We can't say enough thank yous because the children have been exposed to so much. And we are honored to be here, and I'm honored to be here today. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Susan. And Pauline?
Hi, I'm Pauline Herbommez. I teach in Eton College. I'm a French teacher, but also a co-director for environmental education. Thank you so much for the opportunity the entire year. I think for us, the Earth Prize came at a time where we were a little bit tired of the gloom and doom and trying to explain why we have to make a difference, and wanted to put this kind of climate-related stress into action, and that allowed us to do that. So yeah, I had supervised 7 teams here, and one of them made it to the finalists.
Thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you all for being here today with us. I think really we're going to jump into some questions because I imagine that the teachers that have signed up and registered to listen are eager to hear about your experiences. So I'm going to start with Pauline, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the fact that you had 7 teams. Incredible. Then 4 made it to the scholars and 1 made it to the finalists. And just an added note, all of you here today, with your dedication to your teams and to the students, all of your teams made it to the 10 finalists. So again, a huge congratulations. And you're really here to showcase how important a teacher is and how it can change and move things in the right direction. So Pauline, how exactly did you get the students to register in the teams, by the way, and how did you manage them? What tips would you give to a teacher who's never heard about us and is thinking about registering but isn't sure?
Yes, so first of all, I just would like to say that it's very straightforward, quite easy. And if you have any questions, the Prize were really, really efficient in telling me, directing me where to go. But I actually emailed the entire school. We are quite a fairly big school with more than 1,300 students. And I'd like to say as well that it's a very, very busy school. But by emailing the boys, we had a few that had questions. And when I answered the questions, I ended up with 8 teams. One of them didn't make it to the next stage. But and then we used your video, your very efficient video, I should say. I sent it to all the tutors. The tutors shared it with their students. And then we put them in the screens around the school. We advertised it in geography and science lessons, in the environmental action group. So that was fairly straightforward.
I think that's something that's actually really important that you mentioned earlier, is that you showcase it to the whole school.
Yes.
And I like that approach because you really want to get the younger ones also excited. Even if they can't participate yet, you can already get them thinking about, okay, I'm 2 years away or I'm a year away. I'd love to get involved in that on one side. And on the other, I think it's really important that the school and the other students champion those who sign up.
Yes.
It is, yeah, go ahead, please.
I think if I may add about the whole school involvement for us, so we put some internal deadlines, so before your deadlines, just to make sure they were ready. And there was a big event in January where all the teams, all the 7 teams were on stage in front of the school to explain their ideas, and the younger students or the older students actually who didn't participate were able to ask questions, and it kind of helped them redefine their proposal. And I think it made it stronger, and it made it look like this is a whole school effort to actually make a difference in the world. And also, I think it might have engaged students to participate this year. So I would definitely give that as a tip myself.
Thank you so much for that. So I have a question for all of you, which is, how would you describe your overall experience of participating in the Earth Prize competition in one word? Should I start with Safa?
Actually, it's an inspiring experience.
Inspiring. Very nice. Chris?
I'll say motivating.
Motivating. Great. Susan?
Informative.
Informative. And Pauline?
And uplifting for me.
Well, thank you for that, because these are things that I think that also the youth really needs in their lives today. So if they can receive it in some form or another, that of course is wonderful for everyone. Another question for Pauline, and then I'm going to jump around a little bit. What did you think of the mentorship portal? Did your students ask questions to our university mentors?
Yes, so not necessarily initially, and I have to say that for me, what made, we get a lot of different things around at the moment about the environment and about action. And I think what made it for me to enter that prize was the mentorship program. So you have students all around the world from the best universities that are available for your students to go and ask questions. And, you know, often I feel like I'm not an expert. I can't answer their questions about the albedo effect or some of the, you know, sequestration of carbon capture and all of this, but you have the expertise from the mentorship. And so initially they didn't really know about it. They didn't know where to find them. So I directed them, and then most of the teams use them, and they really, really enjoy that process.
Well, we're very excited, and we've been going through the process of, again, interviewing the new round. And this year we're going to have 40 mentors. Last year we had 30, and this year we're going to have 40 from top universities all over the world. So we're very excited for them to be involved again. Then I have a question for Susan. What did you think about the learning content that we created for the Earth Prize to support the students and the teachers? Did you use it in the classroom? How did your students respond to it?
As I'd said before, the process was very informative, and we are thankful for all that content. So what I can say is that from the content, I can say maybe let me talk about 3 things that we learned from that content. Okay, the first thing, when we received that, when we entered the competition and we saw the videos, we invited all the students to come to the computer lab, because in our school we had a computer lab with a projector. So all the students would come and see what we are doing, and those who are interested are the ones who formed the teams. Just as I think Pauline had just said the same thing. Yeah? Those who are interested are the ones who joined the teams. So I'd say the videos are they have a lot of authentic information. Some of the things that we saw in those videos, we don't teach, like we don't have environmental studies, although they want, because we're having a new curriculum, they want to start environmental studies. So maybe in geography, it touch on environmental matters. So we got so much authentic information. Those videos really gave us a lot of information that we are glad we had. And also, it was really engaging. You know, videos are engaging, and we are dealing with teenagers. So they were so happy to see the videos, especially the ones that had animation. In fact, from just the animation from the videos, we were able to come up with a team that was called Creating Awareness Team, although it didn't make it the scholars category. So we were able to form a team from that. And then because now this is the first time the students will be doing something in the form of a project, if I may say, because when you look at the subject, what is the statement objective, what is the statement problem? So we would let the students watch the videos, maybe they are short videos, maybe we'll let the students watch the videos, and then they come up in their own teams, maybe teams of 5. Then when they come up with their teams, we'd ask them, what do you think is a fresh idea? Or what are the resources? So through this way, because we know this competition is student driven. So for the first 3 videos, we tried to teach them these new words, because they were all new words to them. They'd never heard of this before. They don't do projects in high school. So these new words, they were like, what are these words? So the first 3 videos, I would encourage you, watch with the students. Before you let them do everything they want, watch with the students. And as the teacher, I would recommend you to watch all the videos. Just to watch all of them. You won't lose anything. Watch all of them. And to finish up with, watching these different videos exposed our students to different cultures. Yes, and if I should say also the accents, you see, maybe you're finding me different. You can't hear me clearly, but our students could not understand what you were saying. Like if they would listen to Pauline, they'd be like, what? Because to them, you're speaking so fast. So it helped us to, we were able to listen to the different cultures, so they got accustomed to listening to that kind of voice. But I think the thing that made them so excited was that they were able to see one of them. As much as they're different cultures, they were able to see, let's say, who is a fellow Kenyan. So as opposed of watching it as a documentary, you know, it's like you're watching TV, that's a documentary you can see on TV. But once they saw a person from their country, oh my goodness, now everyone wanted to join the team, because we had 5 teams. And then they were so excited. Lucerne is a youth ambassador for the Earth Prize.
Yes.
Is the youth ambassador? Yes.
Yes.
He was able, through this video, we learned what he was able to come to school. He was able to mentor us. So he was able, even now he still comes to school once in a while to say hi, to plant trees. So these videos, I would urge all the teachers to watch the videos. They're really helpful.
I love that feedback, Susan. I think that for us is very powerful to realize that there was a video that they could directly relate to, and from that sparked so much desire and energy to move forward and do something. And Lucerne, actually, he's one of our change makers, and we love him. He has been really a trooper for us and dedicated and such a good heart in all that he does. So really, I hope to meet him in person myself one day.
Welcome.
Yes, I have to come visit you. But no, thank you so much for that feedback. So now I'm going to jump to Chris. Chris, you're a little bit the odd one out today. I'm sorry to tell you, you're a little alone with all these ladies. But you can handle it. So what value would you say the Earth Prize competition has brought to your students?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, right? If you were to ask my kids individually, I think they would all tell you different things, because I think in any big project like this, they all take away different things.
Yeah.
I can say that I haven't seen a lot of other projects in my career that have brought this much enthusiasm and energy to the table. I think, the idea of the prize, the competition, especially international competition, I think really is motivating. And I know that because my kids were working a lot of nights and weekends, which they would not do for a lot of other things that we do in school.
Oh, that's great.
I can't say as a teacher, one of the areas of growth that I really saw across the board was in a lot of those soft skills that I think we struggle sometimes as teachers to really teach and measure in a classroom setting, right? So, in a project like this, the kids need to really understand the strengths and weaknesses of their teammates and help overcome, if one person can't manage to do something, other people need to step in and cover. And they need to do that in a way that does, that resolves friction rather than creating friction. They needed to meet with professionals out in the world, and they had to present themselves as professionals in order to be taken seriously. And having that higher bar of sort of a real world conversation was really, really important and really upped their game quite a bit. I think resiliency is a really big one as well. I know we hit some times during the course of the project where morale was running a little bit low, and they were trying to find that interdiscipline and the just the camaraderie to keep it going, and that's an important process. And those are all things that you really can't replicate easily in a classroom environment, but they're critical to being successful in the real world and someday in their work life. So I would say that as a teacher, I was really, really pleased to see them get stretched in those areas. They did an amazing job.
That's so great. And it's so great to hear your feedback. I mean, it's one thing, a year ago, we were talking about what we were hoping for, we were wishing for, and now to have you here today, actually being able to share what actually happened and what the feedback and how you feel your students have benefited. For us and the whole team at the Earth Foundation, it's so fulfilling, and we're excited, obviously, for what's to come. Safa, I have a question for you. Are your students excited about the second edition of the Earth Prize? Are they already thinking about ideas?
Yeah,
they already got ideas.
They are very excited. Yes, of course, my students are very excited about participating in the coming edition of the Earth Prize. They are coming up with new ideas. Actually, one of the teams who participated in 2022 modified and developed their proposed solutions. They participated in an environment-themed event in Jordan, and they were awarded for submitting the best idea locally. The 13 students from the 3 teams who participated previously are now focal points in the school. They are sharing their experience with everyone around them, and they are motivating more students even to participate. So yeah, you will see so many students from Jordan participating in the next edition of the Earth Prize.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. And the fact that, the winners, they are able now to inspire the younger children in the community and get them excited and give them hopes and dreams. I think that's so important in their circumstances to know that there's something they can do to make a change in their life and make a change in this world. So we love that, Safa. Thank you. Okay, so then let me see. I have more questions for you. This is for all of you. What are some of the skills and values your students have gained from the Earth Prize, and what's been the impact in your community? Because through some feedback, we've heard that it's not just the students, but the community has also had quite a shift. Susan, do you want to start with that?
Sure, I will start. What we have learned through this Earth Prize in our school, okay, let me say now, starting next year, we are changing the curriculum of the school, of the nation.
Oh.
The curriculum is changing, yeah?
Okay.
So, as I said earlier, now we're going to be having environmental studies. So you see, already our students know what it is about. They're already a step ahead of what is happening, what is expected of them. And another thing is that because of this competition, because now they have a new curriculum, now the government was going around schools looking for model schools so that they can start environmental studies in the area. So, wow, guess who was chosen? Of course, our school was chosen. Now we are a model school. Now, so the schools that are neighboring us, when they want to have an environmental project, they have to come to our school so that they get information from us. So that is something.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So because of that, we can already see that the students, okay, they feel special. They feel, oh wow, we did something big. So our school has been recognized by the county government as a representative of the environmental studies. The people in the environment have learned a lot, especially the project that went to the finalist, the one for making briquettes. We already have people coming from our neighboring community coming to learn what it is that you're doing. So it has had a lot of impact in that. So I would say the Earth Prize and this environmental project has done wonders in our community. It is so wonderful and has really uplifted the students. In fact, it has even uplifted me because now I have an extra subject to teach next year.
That's so wonderful. Thank you, Susan. Oh my goodness. Wow. Pauline.
Yeah, how to follow this up?
Yeah, Susan, I should have asked you last. I mean, really.
Well done, Susan. I mean, this is great. I think we should also thank the Earth Foundation, because that's kind of allowed us to, I don't know, to fulfill some needs that are in schools. For us, I think we can't deny the fact that it takes time for environmental education. We started an environmental education co-curricular group, and it takes time. And I think for me, it also prepares them for university, which is really important. And we can't just say, we're just going to do environmental action and forget about the fact that they are preparing for exams and preparing for entries at university. And I think for me, it's kind of doing both at the same time, because it's really the different level, the different submission phase, the research, the fact that they really have to go in depth into their research really prepares them for university. Something to put in a personal statement or to talk about at an interview at university. And we know how important those are for students, for our schools, for our parents. So yeah, definitely for us, and they were recognized in the community. It was nice for the boys to be recognized as, oh, you were the team that made it to the scholars. You were the teams that were finalists. And suddenly they were recognized for their efforts for environmental education, where, most of the time what's recognized is the fact that they won the rugby, or that they, the music or different things. But environmental education was still a little bit, nothing that was valued as such. So yeah, thank you again for that for us as well.
Well, this is the hopes and dreams of the founder, Peter McGarry, myself, and my whole incredible team behind this. So this is music to our ears. You can tell us all the things we still need to fix. You know that we're always open to hearing, anything that you feel should be improved. But it's very powerful. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I think, Pauline mentioned at the very beginning, I think you were saying that one of the benefits of the Earth Prize for you guys is an antidote kind of to this gloom and doom that pervades so much of what the kids hear in school, right? We study a lot of problems in school. And I think, kids in this generation are very aware of the challenges they're facing. And I think it weighs heavily on a lot of them. And I think the antidote to that is rolling up your sleeves and getting busy, right? Kids who are actually involved in fixing things and doing things don't have time to worry about these problems in the same way. And so I think, in our school, we're trying to move very much in that direction of getting kids more actively engaged in actually solving problems rather than just talking about them. And obviously the Earth Prize is a really, really valuable tool to inspire and motivate some of those kids to get moving in that direction. So, when our kids stand up on the stage and present what they've done, a lot of other kids are looking at that and saying, wow, yeah, I'd like to get my hands on that too, or something similar. So I think it's just, it's changing the conversations within the community. It's really important.
That's great, Chris. Safa, what about you in the community? How have you felt the difference?
I would like to start by stating the fact that in my community, it is known, or people think that knowledge exists only in textbooks, but the dramatic change or the dramatic development the participants has made through their participation changed their ideas. Now, we used to struggle with parents to have them participate their kids in such competitions, but now they are the ones who ask us to engage their students and to help them participate in this kind of competitions. Also, another fact that it is very much common that young children are the ones to follow, but the Earth Prize made them the ones to lead. This kind of change now, they made their parents, the community, more aware of the importance of saving environment. They made people more inquisitive about environment, about environmental education. They are leading the change now. The community in general changed. They changed their perspective of the importance of participating in competition, changed their perspective regarding environment as well. So thanks to the Earth Prize, things are going to the better now.
That's so wonderful. We did hear a lot of feedback about how also the parents started getting much more conscious about what they were doing at home and recycling and food wastage and everything else, because the students were bringing this competition back home and discussing what they were working on, and it sort of started spreading, which I think is quite fantastic, that it would have this ripple effect throughout homes, communities, and all that. And then, of course, Safa, we're not going to ignore the fact that you were the Educator of the Year 2022. How did you feel when you first heard that it was you who won?
Actually, I felt very happy, and I was shocked, to be honest. And I was very happy because my efforts were appreciated by my students, by the Earth Prize team at large, and it made me I'm now more confident and more passionate about teaching. Now I want to do more to my community, starting from school to the town, to the country, to the global world at large. The Earth Prize made me want to do more. So I'm planning also to share the environment-based toolkit publicly with all teachers around the world so that they can implement activities in their classrooms as well, so that more students can benefit from. So yeah, I was very happy, and I'm now excited to see who is the coming Educator of the Year.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think what's very apparent and important to the Earth Foundation and what we saw in the Earth Prize is that educators really are so key in changing the direction in the lives of teenage students. So all of you here today, your dedication to education and leading and guiding these students, they will never forget you. You are changing people's lives. You are so valuable. And we're so thrilled that you're part of the Earth Prize family. And we're really, really amazed by all the hard work and dedication that you have devoted to make sure that the students participated, registered, you guided them, and you encouraged them. And in the low moments, you're the ones, even though you're supervising, and this is student driven. And I know a lot of you have mentioned that to me, where you realize that it is very much student driven and that you were supervising, but you encourage them in the low moments and you make sure they stay on track. And you've been absolutely terrific. So we can't thank you enough for signing up and doing all that you've done. So we're actually going to move over to the Q&A session and see who has questions for us. Is that all good? I'm going to dive into a box here where it says Q&A. Hold on. Let's see what's happening. We'll give them a few seconds to load up what's happening. But, you know, I think what's also interesting is if you were to share with teachers that are still thinking about signing up, who aren't sure, that's one point we haven't actually covered too much, is how much work do you feel you had to do when you were hesitating prior to signing up? The fear, like, oh, we don't have time for this. In the end, how much time was it? Was it doable? Just to give them an idea out there who's listening.
To jump in if that's okay.
Yes.
I just want to say that it really is as much or as little that teacher wants to allow. So I know that I had a session, a drop-in session, where I said, come in, we can, if you have any questions now and then, but then the students were able to then go and work on their projects on their own whenever they were able to. And really, essentially, when you register, you just put the names of your teams, and then it's on to them. And then each phase, there's 3, if you're lucky enough to get to the end, you just press a button to say submit when they finished their project. So really can be as little to as much as you can provide. So, and also I'd like to say that for me, what really is important to share is that it's free. And so all the material that Susan was talking about, it's all there, really easily, well organized for anyone in the world to access. So it's I think for me, there's a no-brainer into, you know, having done it for a year, it's something that we will continue.
Fantastic. I do have a question here from Thomas David Akpa. When will the next Earth Prize start? So the next Earth Prize will officially launch on the 1st of September, but you can already pre-register from now. And when you do that, you will receive a reminder on the 1st of September to officially register. And I hope that helps, Thomas. I have another question from Faustina. I'm from Raila Education Center, and I'm asking if you can participate in the Earth Prize if you have already participated. Absolutely. What we really actually hope for is that you enter every year. It's something that your school or your program or wherever you are allows you to sign up every year for a new experience, new ideas, and we really welcome that for many, many years to come. So that's that question. Let me see, I have one more question here. I also have, thank you to these teachers. Oh, they also say, how does it work? Do the students need to have projects ready by September 1st? So who would like to answer that one out of the teachers? Anyone?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in on that one. So it's the project is spread over a period of time, and there's different milestones for the kids to hit and different elements that they need to submit at different times. So by September 1st, Angela, you know better than I do, is that just the launch and then they'll have to put their teams together by October or something? Is that?
So September 1st is when it officially launches.
Yep.
For those of you who have already participated, of course, you already know about it and you potentially have already been preparing for the 1st of September, but that's when registration opens. And that's when you click register and you can start showcasing our platform, which is the learning content, our mentors, we have a youth board, we have our incredible ambassadors, and obviously our amazing adjudicating panel. They are all on our platform, and you can already dive into the learning content and the mentorship as of the 1st of September. You can showcase it to your school, you can showcase it to your parents, whoever might be interested, and then sign up. And once you sign up, you start creating your teams, depending on who you've pitched to, either your whole school, or like Susan said, you know, you showcase the videos and then the teams start being organized, 5 per team maximum. So you can be an individual or up until 5. And you have until the end of November to register, okay? And in that time, you can already start working on your projects, ideas, and get things rolling. And then you only have to submit your solution at the end of January. So there's quite a nice time delay of putting teams together, getting ideas, and putting the solution together in a submission phase at the end of January. Is that good? Okay, let me see here. What else do I have? Has any of you integrated the prize into extracurricular programs like CAS in the IB? Does anyone want to, who's running CAS? That would be Chris and Pauline. You have IB.
Yeah, I guess I would say that I think that's a fantastic way to open up an opportunity for kids, because those that are doing CAS projects on their own that would line up well with what the Earth Prize is trying to accomplish, they certainly could enter their CAS project as an Earth Prize team or project, right? So yeah, I think that would be a really interesting way to get your CAS kids excited about engaging in a much bigger opportunity than just outside of their school.
Fantastic. I remember a lot of teachers last year asking me, where can they put this in the program? And the ones in IB, they definitely mentioned CAS, but then after that, it seems either people had an environmental club or a science class or a geography class. They found ways to enter the Earth Prize and found space for it. Let me see. I have another question from Gabrielle. Is there a limit to how many groups of 5 we can have? No, you can have as many groups from your school as you like. So there you go. And another question, must the projects be technological or science-based, or they can even range from both social and economic dynamics? Yes. So, you know, for us, it's about coming up with solutions to obviously tackle environmental issues, but that can often come from a policy, you know, a change in policy could literally change a community, a village, a town, a city, that we've heard about. So it does not have to be techie or science-based necessarily, but it has to be able to create an impact, change on society for the environment. Safa, was it hard to do this in English for your students?
Let's see the bright side of the process. It helped them be better in English.
Okay.
Actually, students, they don't find it very hard, but sometimes they struggle with some scientific terms, let's say. But the mentorship portal was always there to help them to answer their questions, the specific details they need. Yes, it was sometimes difficult for them, but they were able to communicate with mentors. They were able to submit their first idea at the end. So let's see the bright side. They will develop their skills in English. So don't take it as a problem. Take the advantage of the thing.
That's a good way of looking at things. I like that, Safa. We also have another question here from Thomas, I see. In the Earth Prize, is it connected to sustainable development goals? So we're not directly connected to the SDGs. However, obviously, in the end, anyone in the Earth Prize competition indirectly is going to touch on one of the SDGs. They're specific to the UN, but yes, of course, whatever you're going to come up with will have an influence and probably touch upon one of them, but we're not directly interacting with them. So let me see. Can students from different grades be on the same team? Has any of the teachers here done this before? How did they work around it?
Raila.
Okay.
In my school, 13 to 19 years old are students from 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. So yeah, I had a team that contained students from the 8th and the 9th grade, and they did well together because they were meeting on their break time, sometimes through Zoom calls. So they managed to do it. So I don't think it's a problem.
Fantastic. All right, I have another one here from Gabrielle Ganonsky. We're looking to make this an elective club with our 8th grade students. Many are 13, 14 years old. However, some 8th graders are 12. Would they still be able to enter? Unfortunately not. I'm afraid they have to be 13 from various reasons. So it's 13 to 19 years old to enter the Earth Prize competition, but they can always enter next year.
Yes, I would just jump in on that one too. I think some of those kids that are younger will then be, of course, in later years, able to form their own Earth Prize teams. So hopefully they'll still get their chance.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Chris. Imani, it's great to hear from these outstanding teachers, quite inspiring. So I think, that's something that I think that's pretty much the last question we had time for, but I think that's something to finish on, where to realize, this webinar, why we wanted to do it, not only to inform and give tips and guidance to teachers that are hopefully listening and have heard about the Earth Prize and are wondering if they should sign up, but really it's also to celebrate you and to know that you're really valued. And it's just been an incredible experience that we've had with you as well. My team, they know you all well, and you're important to us as well as the students are. So nothing could be done really without you. So I'm going to slowly wind off and leave for today. But I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, as well as everyone who's listening. For those of you who now definitely want to sign up for the Earth Prize 2023, you can pre-register on our website, theearthprize.org, and you will receive a reminder for the official registration that opens for the Earth Prize 2023 on the 1st of September. So that's all we have time for today. But thank you again. Tell me, Chris.
Just real quick, is there a place for the people who haven't had their questions answered yet? Is there a place they can go to get those questions answered?
Absolutely, Chris. I'm glad you pointed that out. I was almost going to forget. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to email us on our email website. You can see there's an info at email, or on social media. Myself and my team, they will answer any questions that you might still have and happily help you in any way we can. So goodbye for today, and we'll see you next time. And thank you again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.